Hi everyone. If you're enjoying the show and have appreciated the tips and experience being shared with you, maybe consider leaving a one-off tip to support production, including the hosting, the booking, the marketing, the recording, the editing, and every other aspect of making a show like this. You can do that by visiting podcastingpeople.uk/support or via the link in the show notes. Thanks for listening.
Hi, I'm Katie Lyons and I'm a talent booker for podcasts and television. And today I'm going to give you a tip about how to get the best talent on your podcast. So I am a talent booker for podcasts and television, and I work with all different genres and types of podcasts, including Plot Twist podcast for Sky, which is booking lots of Hollywood stars, Jack Whitehall's podcast, The Comedian, and John Bishop's podcast, Joe Marler, the Rugby Players podcast, and Trini Woodall's podcast. Also, I've just taken on a really big podcast, the Shits and Gigs podcast, and Saving Grace podcast, and many, many more. It's great to work in all different genres and keep on top of my game. I got into podcasting, it was during COVID. My background's in television, and I worked at the BBC for around 15 years. And then in COVID, obviously everything started drying up. And I was listening to a few podcasts, and at that time they were just getting more and more popular. So I thought, there's a niche here, booking talent for podcasts. So I started hammering LinkedIn, just adding anyone and everyone who had a podcast in their job title, and emailing to see if they needed help with guest booking. And slowly but surely, I built up a client base just through that. So yeah, LinkedIn has been an absolute amazing savior for me. One thing I love about podcasts, compared to television production, I love how much simpler all the setup is than TV. When you're recording a podcast, you've only got really two options for location. You've either got a studio or a remote recording, so you can be in your kitchen. So I would say that's a lot easier for me and the producers. Also, with regards to booking, it's a lot easier to get those guests who are far away. For example, the guests who are in the USA or in Australia, because now you can speak to them remotely and still get a great podcast. My big tip for talent booking, well, I don't want to give away all my secrets, but my big tip would be you need a talent booker. No, I'm only joking. If you're booking the guests yourself, I'd go and have a search on Google. See who's got a new book coming out, who's got a new show coming out, who might have a new song coming out. And if you allow your talent to talk a little about what they're promoting, it may be an easier sell to get that guest that you want. This is also a good way to save money, as they'll come on the podcast for free. You can find me on LinkedIn, just type in Katie Lyons, Talent Booker, and you can see some links to some of the great podcasts that I'm working on at the moment. Thanks for listening to Podcasting People.
Like the sound of this episode? The Sound Boutique can help with your show too, from fixing problem audio all the way through to producing full shows. Visit thesoundboutique.com today to start a conversation. The link is in the show notes.